Meeting room will come to order. Quorum is present and meeting's been duly called and notice of the meeting's been posted in a time and manner as required by law. At this time, I'll ask Tim Swearingen to give us an invocation, and Katz, if you don't mind, will lead us in the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for allowing us to come here this evening, Lord. And Lord, I just ask that you would be with us this evening as we conduct the business of the school. Lord, allow us to just do so in a manner that is pleasing to you and everything that is done to your will. Lord, I just ask that you would be with us the rest of this week. Lord, be with our schools and our staff, and just allow them to know the comfort that you give. Lord, we ask all this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. It's always good to be able to meet and through some of the things we've been in the past, it's good to be in person in public. We'll give Jennifer just a second. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, sir, we do. Stephanie Moore.
Okay.
Is that now?
Hang on just a second. Okay. At this time, Ms. Moore, I'll ask you if you want to step up to the podium.
Here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to remind the board, and remind everybody that we cannot comment, but we can certainly listen, and you have 3 minutes whenever you're ready to start.
Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll wait to start
sorry.
until you're ready.
Old eyes, I apologize. All right. Sorry, just 1 second. You ready? Good evening, members of the board, administrators, and community members. My name is Stephanie Moore, and I've been a proud and dedicated educator for over 21 years. During that time, I have been a mentor teacher and served my students, their families, and my colleagues with nothing but respect, compassion, and professionalism. Teaching has never been just a job for me. It has been my calling, my passion, and my purpose. I moved 4 hours away to a district that needs to make a difference, in a district that currently is at an F rating. I am here tonight because I have been accused of harming a child on 3 separate occasions. Completely false allegations. I want to state clearly and firmly, I have never injured a child in all of my life and wouldn't start now. What truly led to these accusations was my decision to exercise my professional and legal rights under Chapter 37 of the Texas Education Code, also known as the Safe Schools Act. This law exists to protect the learning environment and to ensure the teachers can maintain a safe and effective classroom environment for all students. In this particular case, I made the difficult decision to request that a chronically disruptive and disrespectful student not be allowed to return to my classroom due to the lack of help and support with this student. This was not an act of defiance, but one of responsibility and protection for the other 95% of my students who came each day ready to learn, and protection for the integrity of their learning environment I am obligated to uphold. It's important to note that none of the allegations against me existed before I made a formal request for the student's removal. I submitted the request by email September 26th at 7:02 a.m. And that very same day at 10:15, I was placed on administrative leave. The timing speaks volumes. This accusation did not appear until after I exercised my legal right and fulfilled my duty under Chapter 37 to protect my students in my classroom. There is zero video evidence supporting any of these false claims. Not a single instance alleged misconduct appears on camera, and no witness that came forward to corroborate any of these allegations made by my colleagues regarding any of these alleged events. There is zero credible proof that any of these accusations ever occurred. I want to remind the board that Brownfield ISD currently is holding an F rating, and I came into this district.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll move on into the superintendent's report.
All right, yes, sir. We'll go ahead and start off with our recognitions. To everybody that's being recognized today, I apologize because Sonic was out of gift cards, so I'm gonna have to give you an IOU today. But we will get you your gift cards first thing at the first opportunity that we get. But we're gonna start off with our Employee of the Month for Colonial Heights, Ms. Webb. And Mr. Martinez, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. Martinez, if you want to come up and Texas Farm Bureau continues to sponsor our gift cards. I tried, Mr. Martinez, to get the gift cards today. So Texas Farm Bureau sponsors those gift cards for us so that we can give to our staff and students. And so we're very appreciative of that. So we'll start off with Colonial Heights.
All right, Colonial Heights Employee of the Month for the month of October is Mrs. Zari Porter. Zari grew up in Brownsville, but has lived in Brownsville for the past 8 years. She graduated from Brownsville High School and has been working for BISD for 3 years. She is married to her husband Dustin, and together they have a son Liam, who attends Colonial Heights. In her spare time, Zari enjoys doing crossword puzzles, watching TV shows, and spending time with family. Zari states, "I love working for Colonial Heights. We are a team, and I am lucky to be a part of it." So I asked some of your coworkers to say something about you, and here's what they have to say. Zari is an amazing coworker. She helps out wherever she's needed and is great with her students. She's always helping them out in whichever way she can. Zari is a great coworker. She was always there to help when needed. The students love her and always look forward to seeing her in the morning. Zari is dependable, creative, and endlessly patient. She is the kind of teammate who steps in without being asked and always puts her students first. Her warmth and positivity sets the tone for the classroom and makes it a place where every child feels important and loved. Please join me in congratulating Zari Porter as Colonial Heights Employee of the Month.
He has posed for some pictures here. Hold on.
One more second, David, sorry, I'm moving around faster.
Hey, Zari.
Yes.
You mind shaking our hands on this? And I can honestly say every time I see her, she's smiling all the time. Oak Grove.
Kick me out now. Off your side.
It is an honor to recognize Ms. Sarah Clements as Oak Grove's October Employee of the Month. Ms. Clements is a first-year teacher, and we are so excited to have her. She creates a positive and engaging environment in our music classroom. Students are generally excited to go to music each week. They love earning points, trying out new instruments, and learning new songs. No matter what the grade level, when you walk by her classroom, you can see and hear the excitement. Every student is actively engaged and having fun while learning. Ms. Clements is also a true professional. She treats students and staff with the utmost respect and consistently goes above and beyond our campus. She's been working especially hard to prepare for the upcoming fifth grade music program, and I would like to invite all of you to join us tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. in the Oak Grove Gym to see our students perform. We are so thankful for Ms. Clements' dedication, creativity, and the joy she brings to our campus each day.
Like I said, we're supposed to give gift cards today, but I promise I'll get you one. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
We'll be there tomorrow. Congratulations again, yes.
Middle school?
Come on, Mrs. Pico.
Oh, Mrs. Spino, I've had the privilege of working with you, not for, well, I work for you sometimes, most of the time, for many years. I can't say enough positive things about this lady right here. She's incredible. She's the glue to our campus. You're gonna make me cry, so I can't look at you. She goes above and beyond, all the time. I told her she had to give a speech. She told me no, so I said yes, ma'am. But we couldn't function without her. She very kindly tells me when my paperwork is incorrect. I need to fix it for her so that she can submit it correctly. She answers questions all the time, from top to bottom. It's probably faster to say the things that she doesn't do. So it's an honor to stand next to her and to present her as Brownfield Middle School's Employee of the Month.
I don't think I've ever seen Miss Venable get choked up. Ever.
Miss Spino!
Yeah. Congratulations, very, very deserving. Very deserving.
We appreciate you.
Student of the month comes from high school. Dr. Cooper.
Yes, sir. Where's John Fields? There he is, right there. Raise this up, because anyway, it goes up more. Yeah, there we go. John Fields. Please be patient with this. There's a lot of information here, but when I think of John, I just think of him coming here. He wasn't that tall, he's probably this tall. And he always was in the shadow of his two sisters. And to me, I'm just thankful and grateful and blessed that you found your own route, your own path, and we're proud of you. I'm just stick with this. Okay. He's a senior at Brownfield High School. Some of his achievements while attending Brownfield High School include two-time district champion, regional runner-up, 2025 state qualifier, member of NHS, student council vice president, esports social media head, esports social media head, esports team captain, set to graduate with an associate's degree in science spring of 2026, member of the stream team, USTA certified tennis coach, certified PAR 107 drone pilot. This would be a good opportunity and place to give a round of applause for those achievements. I got two coaches to share their reflections of what they thought of you over the course of the last 4 years. John Fields is a natural leader who consistently sets a positive example for others. He leads with kindness, fairness, and confidence, always encouraging his teammates to do their best. He treats teachers and peers with great respect, listening carefully and showing genuine care for others' ideas and feelings. His strong character and integrity make him someone others look up to, and his willingness to help anyone in need shows what a great person he truly is. Whether in the classroom, on the tennis court, you know what it is now, or doing any other activity, John's leadership and respect make a lasting impact on everyone around him. One more reflection.
John Fields is truly deserving of the BHS Student of the Month Award. In my 28 years of teaching, I can honestly say I have never had a student who better represents all this school stands for. He is the first person who comes to mind when we need a representative for any cause or initiative. He is not only gladly accepts every request, but always represents our school with the highest level of integrity. John's presence is felt in every corner of our campus. As the voice of the morning announcements, his cheerfulness sets a positive, energetic tone for the start of every day. He demonstrates the standards of excellence every student should strive to achieve, making him a true role model. John Fields stands as one of the most exceptional students I've taught in my career. His intellectual curiosity and positive leadership of classroom discussion sets a high bar for his peers. Students of his caliber are truly rare, and I feel fortunate to have had him in my classroom. While selecting the Student of the Year for U.S. History is usually a difficult choice, recognizing John was an obvious decision. John is also a powerful leader on our basketball team. He is one of the hardest working students I've ever coached, and his contagious enthusiasm elevates the performance and morale of every team every day. He is always the most encouraging kid, celebrating others' success as if it were his own. Having the opportunity to coach students like John is why I chose this profession. While selecting the Student of the Month is always challenging due to our many deserving students, John Fields stands out as one of the clearest and easiest choices. His presence makes my job far more rewarding as he makes my day better every time I get the chance to interact with him. Brownfield High School Student of the Month, John Fields.
Can't believe we're about to be out of Fields, kids.
Man, I know it.
Sir, I appreciate it. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You will be missed, sir. You will be missed.
You got your,
Not yet, but he will be. Okay, Employee of the Month at Brownfield High School, Kelsey Lamprick. As of this year, this is Kelsey Lamprick's 22nd year in education as a whole, her 8th year as instructional coach at Brownfield High School. Her husband, David, over there, is here in attendance, and they will be married for 8 years this December. Kelsey's favorite quote is, "Remember who you are, be a leader," is what her father would tell her daily as she went to school. Kelsey's passion is helping teachers figure out that it's not as hard as it seems. She loves to sit with teachers within the spirit of collaboration if they find themselves stuck in the weeds. As I've always said, if Ms. Moore is my right arm, then Ms. Lamprick is definitely my left arm. Ms. Lamprick is truly a servant leader, as she's always put others before herself. No disrespect, Mr. Lamprick, about what I'm about to say. Ms. Lamprick, no disrespect, Ms. Lamprick. No disrespect, Mr. Lamprick, but professionally and educationally, there's something between me and Ms. Lamprick. Okay? Ms. Lamprick and I can finish each other's sentences when it comes to helping others reach their professional capacity and ability. Ms. Lamprick's intuitive leadership senses enable her to describe, support, address, and add value to our Brownfield High School culture, climate, and the learning environment for everyone. Lastly, Ms. Lamprick is a champion for all students, meaning she is always willing to go beyond the call of duty for our students and our staff. Our Employee of the Month for Brownfield High School, Kelsey Lamprick.
Mr. Martinez, thank you for sponsoring this for us. Congratulations, super deserving.
Thank you, Fred.
I don't see any of our custodians here. I don't,
Brian got the memo.
yeah, okay.
Got the memo to them.
Well, we were gonna recognize our custodial team today. They're so deserving, great ladies and gentlemen. They work hard and tirelessly, and so very appreciative of them. We may get them back at another board meeting, and we'll get them their gift cards too. So, for those of you that want to leave, now's the time, but you're welcome to stay to the very end. Ms. Moore, your purse? Oh, she's coming back. Okay, we will go into our academic report for high school.
Yes. Kelsey, come on, let's do this. We don't know how to work that new technology, but we will get it down.
My name's now going to change to Vanna.
Brandon, you got it? Okay, now, we're not to flip in a minute, you know that, right?
Yes.
So you got to train me pretty quickly.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Just want to be able to share what's going on at Brownfield High School. This is my 8th year here. Loved every minute of it. Kids are always first, then the teachers, and then myself and everyone else. That's our model. Want to share our VHS wigs per actual subject, including all of our CCMR, our CT courses. Go ahead, Kelsey. Uh-oh. Kelsey got an issue. I know I'm going to have an issue.
Baker told me that I could do the bottom.
Okay. 04, got it. Okay, when we think about our campus, and this is something, we're going to get into formative data and our unit assessment data. It is not just the data. When we look at it, it's the faces behind the data. No one likes to tell a kid that he or she didn't meet a standard, but we do focus on growth. When we think of the 3 domains that we're held accountable for with the state, student achievement, closing the gaps, and growth. Growth is our greatest opportunity to still celebrate success with our students. With that being said, we have timely targeted intentional innovations for all students, meaning our lowest achieving students, our middle achieving, and our greatest achieving students. Whether we believe it or not, they're achieving at some capacity, at some level. And so I like to focus our verbiage on achieving rather than failing. When we think of tier 2 and tier 3, them are smaller groups, even individualized interventions for students. Students and teach, data visible in PLC. Our data is visible, our data is transparent. We have a motto at our school: data is not punitive. Data is to inform our instruction. Individual goals in all courses. E&I walkthroughs, district provided curriculum tied with fidelity. That's our HRIM curriculum that are non-negotiables. Also celebrate incremental successes at the classroom, grade level, and campus level. Not just with students, but also with adults, and those being the teachers. When we think of what we've implemented this year, taking some lessons from middle school, with all due respect, student individualized goal tracking in all core classes. How do we individualize that where students take ownership in what their data says about them and develop their own student-driven goals? These are various different data trackers that teachers came up with as a show of buy-in across different actual subjects.
Can you guess which one is math?
Far right, far right, far right, far right.
Of course they middle graph.
Also, you have to stand over, because remember, you
Yes.
made this like a 3D one. As well as this year, as we looked and combed through the data, I give my leadership team early in July, we do a leadership retreat. It's called my BLT, not Bacon Less. It's made of my building leadership team. We meet over a 2-day period, and we immerse ourselves in the data, the opportunities of growth. With that being said, being transparent in what we're doing, having the data drive everything, making sure that the data is the main thing. There's a book that we're reading. We think about the main thing being the wigs. Everyone, we're gonna go over and deconstruct all these wigs as soon as possible. That's a picture of our data board for this year. Again, it's not just lowest achieving, middle achieving, highest achieving. It's where our students at. Where are we at? In order to know where we're going, we have to know what the baseline is. What you all have up there, depending on subject, some subjects are taking 1 or 2 unit assessments, some are taking more than that. We break down our data, of course, depending on teams, according to our WIG, but also per student. Out loud, data boards and PLC, again, it's not punitive, it is an opportunity of growth in a way that we drive our decisions for data. Data for decision making, more specifically in our tier 2 and our tier 3. That's another picture, courtesy of Kelsey, of our data trackers right there. Studying data by each unit by course, teacher and teach. Again, when we think of our timely targeted interventions, the first level intervention is tier 1, all whole class. Next one is small groups, that's tier 2, and tier 3 would be the individualized. Breaking down that data, disaggregated unit by course, teacher and teach, that drives everything that we do. Comparing by teach from last year's STAR results. For example, again, middle school, kudos to them, they were exceptional. How do we get the data from the middle school on those students who will be taking 3 tests? Those 3 tests would be Algebra 1, Biology, as well as English 1. How do we find out how they were doing to drive what we're doing, as well as get them to challenge themselves in their individual student goal setting? Next one, please. Making specific reteach intervention plans for tier 2 and tier 3. Our E&I is that platform. It's within a captured day. It's 4 period every day. It's from 10:31 to 11:21. Everybody goes through it. Our lowest achieving, our middle achieving, our highest achieving. It's for those non-testers for enrichment, but it's also for intervention for students who have not passed a STAR test. Regularly updating goals by making predictions based on assessment data. Again, I'm a firm believer in data fatigue. How do we take unit assessments, knowing that we're assessing a lot of things in high school, SAT, ACT, PSAT, multiple tests for multiple students. How do we get the most bang for our buck? In our unit assessment tests, which are timely and targeted. We take that data, we deconstruct it, we put students in different categories and groups, and that platform of reteach and intervention is done in E&I on a day-to-day basis. It's not seen as punishment because every student goes through it 4 period every day. Also, what we've done, as we looked at our English data, you're going to see some longitudinal data in a minute from 2018 when I started all the way to where we're at, going through COVID, to going through a realignment of a readoption of our accountability, as well as to where we're at now. You're going to see longitudinal data. We've combed through all that data with the English teachers and found out our greatest bang for our buck with an English 1 and English 2 is in the writing. When you think of writing and literacy, it is reading and writing together to understand, to comprehend, and to make inferences based off of prompts, whether they're primary, secondary, fiction, or nonfiction. This is something that we adopted across all curriculums. I've seen it done in middle school, but it's a great opportunity for high school. It's something that we've all embraced. So I'm talking about biology, all of our CTE courses. We embrace these writing prompts, and it's done with diligence and fidelity. That's the actual template that we've deconstructed and revised many, many times. It is an expectation. Out of the 2 writing prompts, they take 1 for a daily grade across all curriculums. So what's happening in it is all of these students, English 1 and English 2, when you think of that test, 1/3 of that test is editing and revising. 2/3 of that test is based off the writing prompt, whether it's short or short critical responses or extended constructive responses. That's where our students, that's 2/3 of the actual test. We've been performing pretty good and not doing so hot on those short and those extended constructive responses. When we think of that, and we looked at our data, our students, our highest achieving, our lowest achieving, are only meeting it at the 25% rate. So when we think of these extended and these extended constructive responses, We doubled that, which you'll see in the WIG, to get the most bang for our buck, because kids were not passing that test, at least the writing part, but doing well on the editing and revising, showing that they could be at the meets and masters level. If we double that for all of our students, we'll be on the upward trajectory as well.
So our English department wrote this, and when they came to PLC and presented and just said, this is how we're
Yes.
gonna write, this is how we're gonna grade it, because teachers were really nervous about having to grade
Yes.
writing assignments. As a math teacher, I would have been terrified, because that is not my jam, but can I just tell you who was the most excited about this? Mr. Shelby Smith, he was like,
And he's our working teacher.
can I do this every single week? Sure, you can do this every single week. Shelby Smith, we would love for you to do this every week.
And to be honest, that final revision of that answer was made by a math teacher. Not even an English teacher. No cheats on the left side. No cheats. Okay, so going back to the English department, this is your actual WIG. Each department within every department at Brownfield High School has an actual WIG. This is their WIG. Again, I talked about it or alluded to a minute ago, 50% or higher in our extended or our short constructive response assessment questions to show growth and organization development, ideas and writing conventions. Students must score 3 or higher on these short or extended constructive responses. Again, they came up with this. We're at the 25%. What we're trying to do with this school-wide literacy is double that in their writing. Instruction and implementation will intentionally focus on synthesizing information from two texts to form an appropriate response, organizing a response to a question, and revising written responses.
You know, that was written by an English department.
You definitely know that. Extended or short constructive responses. Here's their assessment data. Again, our data is who we are, and we compare it to the state from the threshold release for STAR at the approaches level. When we think of our first assessment, there's 3 assessments or 2 up there thus far. The approaches level is 44%. On our first assessment, 54% of us met that standard. When we think the meets grade level, which is 58%, we have to score 58, 41% of our students or our testers are at that level. When we think of masters, you have to have a score of student, 84%, 6% of our students on the first one. When we think of a mid-foundation, 59% of our students met as far as testers. The second mid-foundation at the meets level was 37, masters was at 6%. We haven't taken our second mid-foundation, that is a work in progress. We're looking forward to that data. We're taking that data this week.
So the English units are long.
Very long.
Long, like 2.5, 6 weeks long. So that's why there's.
We're talking about 9 to 12 weeks. If we don't be intentional with the mid ones, we won't get data on the students. Here's the longitudinal data over the last 7 to 8 years. Again, you have COVID, you have the STAR redesign, you have HQIM. Our WIG and our goal for the English 1 is 45% at the meets level, not the approaches level, but at the meets level. That is our goal. When we think of that, the first test they took was at 41%. That those 2 mids, actually almost at 45 was the second, and then the third one was at 37. Well, the second one was at 37, excuse me.
So we totally stole Miss Farrah's graphs.
And we just deconstructed it. We want to look at the data and see what type of
She
trajectory
gave
we're
us
on.
the STAR data, and so we're just adding on the unit data. And this one's kind of hard to see because there's only one data point so far. I'll have another one at the end of this week.
English 2, these are our sophomores. When we think of the approaches level on their first assessment at the approaches, the score the student has to achieve is 42%. 61% of our testers are at that level. At the meets level, you have to score 55. 36% of our students were at that test. 30% of our testing students were at that level. When we think of masters, it was 3%. That mid-foundation, actually, they've already taken both of those. As you can see, they're on an upward trajectory for the mid-foundation, and the last one they took, 75% at the approaches, 6% at the meets, and at the masters, 4%, in comparing ourselves to the state.
So we're pumped for English 2.
Yes. When we look at their longitudinal data over the last 7 to 8 years, here where we're at, and outside the graph, 66 and 60% is where they're at right now. Again, at the meets level, not at the approaches level, which indicates either 1 or 2 years still behind. We're talking about at the meets level. So they're on an upward trajectory. We'd like to keep them there.
Math really needed a little fun on their wig, so they called it their rainbow wig. But theirs was just timely targeted intervention in small groups and E&I based off of their assessment data and then bell ringers. So they do bell ringers every Friday. They do a bell ringer question Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday they take a quiz that mirrors what they did during the week. And so their goal was to increase from 42% meets to 48 with STAR testing. So the meets score for Algebra 1s, they have to get a 54, and they have had 3 units. So you're going to see a part 1 and part 2 over here, and when we compare the meets here, we go eek, but when you go and look at the number of TEKs, there are 10 TEKs in that 1 unit, and in Mathland, that's a whole lot of information. It's a giant portion. It's more than 20% of their year, and so it's one of those things that will spiral and spiral and spiral in for the rest of the year, and so we fully expect that 36 to pop up. But because there were only 10 TEKs, we tested over 2 days because we can't just test 1 TEK with 1 question. We need to make sure that we have multiple types of questions and the way that we test them. So it ended up being a 2-part test. So they're definitely above, but again, we expect those numbers to pop right back up.
Science department, that's their WIG right there, collect data for written formative assessment at least once a week to check student understanding. That's their WIG for the year. And here's their assessment data. Meets level 53%, master's level on the first assessment 10%, unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. Back on the upward trajectory on the unit 3, 86% approaches, 62% meets, 35% masters. And this is their longitudinal data over from 2018 to actually now. And so their goal, which is a part of WIG, is 57%. Right now, they're at a 62% capacity.
We hope that these graphs will be encouraging for teachers to see, like, okay, we're doing okay here, but we dip back down. But just the fact that, hey, if this was the real STAR test, look at what they did on Unit 3. Like, that's awesome. They
Yes.
completely surpassed what their goal was set at. So we hope that those things are encouraging.
Social studies department, which is what I thought, 82% of students would show growth of 30% or more from their VOY to EOY. We don't actually have HQIM for social studies. So what they do for assessments is we take the STAR release test and we do the first one, beginning of the year, then we'll do middle of the year, and then we'll do end of the year. We'll use their unit test to ensure each student is on track to meet their goal. Again, it's all individually, it's student-centered goal setting and goal tracking the data. And here's the assessment, and they've taken 3 at this point in time. Again, English, not as many. Again, those standards go for year-round. They go for 9 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks before we even assess students. We've changed that up with it. We've taken at least 4 by now, but when we talk about specifically like U.S. history, they've taken 3 of them, actually 4. At the meets level, 85%. In comparison to say that's above that, and at the master's level, 63% at this point in time. Them are sophomores taking that test. Going back and thinking about everything, English 1, of course, is freshman, biology is freshman, and then your math is what? Algebra 1 is freshman. So 3 out of 5 of those tests are based off our freshmen. Here's the longitudinal data. Their overall goal for this year, that's part of their WIG, is 60%. Their performance on Unit 1 is 75, 85, and 85 for 2 and 3.
So you'll see this giant dip we were minus a US history teacher last year. So from after about the first 6 weeks, and so that was expected because they had about a teacher and a half teaching US history. But we have some rock stars this year, so we stole BMS's rock star.
We took
Ms.
Maggie.
Venables real happy about it.
Thank you. No pun intended, no pun intended. Special ed inclusion, even that, again, all of our student groups, all of our subjects, but all of our student populations, including SPED have, and life skills, definitely have ways. Restructuring how to be more targeted and focused. Each team member will be responsible for knowing the grades and any missing assignments of the students on their inclusion schedule. They will be responsible for making a plan to pull students for E&I and to help catch up or reteach concepts that were not grasped in the general education. This will be like a tier 2 and a tier 3 student that they work an individual on them, either on their IEP or the direct work from tier 1. SPED life skills, you all see their WIG. Life skills students will spend more time out of the room and be included more within the general special education population. I can say I've seen that more so this year than any. They're in CTE classes, they're in choir, they're in cheer. They're part of our cheer squad. It's good to see them included. My wife has been a diagnostician the last 15 years. Every time I leave home, she tells me, take care of my kids. And I say, they're my kids too. They're included and they're responsible. I mean, they're included and they're just as important as any other student. People like to focus on football. We forget about band as an example. Band is out there carrying that heavy luggage and everything else, cheering for every other sport. So these students are special to us, and I just love it this year that they're included in so many more things. The goal is to make them feel more like a part of the whole school and pair them with mentor students when possible. It's been good. Career and technology education, 100%, their WIG is 100% of students will be tested with a 70% pass rate.
Certification tests,
Yes.
not just unit tests.
Yeah, not unit tests, but finish it. Electives and CTE intentionally implement a cross-curricular activity within a lesson every week. We want to leverage, again, when we think of school-wide literacy, CTE taking on how can we leverage not just literacy, but also math, writing, any other actual subjects that need help. How do we leverage them? They want to be able to leverage them. Outside of teaching what they teach at CTE, how can they help and support the core classes?
So we were excited to see this WIG because they wrote this before English even came and said, hey, we want to implement this cross-curricular writing. And I mean, that was basically their WIG, so they spoke it to existence. So
And just think about it, that's our
heck yeah,
biggest
they were all
department.
on it.
And that's our biggest department. When we think of any of our actual subjects, that's our biggest department. P-TECH is a grant that we have with TEA. It's been great. We started our second cohort of students. We have 28 in the first cohort, 21 freshmen and sophomores. Again, these students are expected to take, they do TSI before they even get on campus. So we're getting that data and how do we get them to pass TSI. The goal is to be TSI compliant. If they want to get an associate's degree, let them have that pathway. It's a partnership that we have with South Plains College. It's been a great partnership outside of dual credit. These are students that are considered at risk in multiple ways that we work with, that we mentor. Mrs. Moore has done a great job in partnering with middle school of identifying who these students are so that we can transition them in. That transition starts way, way back in July when we have them on campus for a whole week doing summer bridge. We test them, we transition them. They're taking at least 2 courses in dual credit their first semester of high school. It's been a great program. Complete college credits, earn certification is the goal. Also, when they become juniors, these cohorts of students will do work-based learning accomplishments. They will do work on our campus, but also at the sites of different work organizations and businesses. That's it. Sorry, we just have so many programs, and to be totally honest, so thank y'all for y'all's time and attending this and patience with that. We have so many programs. We think of Bradford High School as a 3A school, but as far as course offerings, we have just as much as a 6A high school. Yeah. So that's been a blessing and a pleasure to have on our campus. Thank you all for the vision in that. So, thank you.
Athletics.
behind Jordan.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. Just going to start off with band. Coach Johnson took a busload of football players and coaches to support our band over the weekend on Saturday. They did receive a 2-1-2. They're basically done by 3 judges. 2 is excellent, 1 is superior, and it's been a while since we've gotten a 2-1-2. So very proud of our band. Girls basketball starting this week. I believe it's Wednesday. They'll start working tryouts, and then boys basketball starting the following week. Football, we're 0-7, but the district is, Denver City is 2-5, Lamesa is 3-4, and Kermit is 1-5. Total of 6 wins and 21 losses. Our district is pretty wide open. Anyone can win this district. While we haven't hit the win column on the scoreboard, our kids have really gotten better as the year has progressed. I've really enjoyed watching them. We're going to get that W somewhere. I'm still holding out. Volleyball, 7-19, sitting 5th right now. We dropped one to Crane, and it put us, we were tied with Crane, and put us in 5th, and they took over. Tomorrow it's a must-win for us against Lamesa. We can't lose to Lamesa, because we'll stay there. Actually, probably 5th. So we have to win against Lamesa to force the playoff to Crane for the 4th spot in the district. So I looked at all of those. Again, I haven't talked to them. Possible playoff would be in Andrews or in that area. Hopefully 10-28, 10-27, so we can get that taken care of. But we got to take care of business tomorrow. Tennis, 8-11, finished 5th in 4-4A. We play up in the fall because our 3As don't play fall. So the 4 regional quarterfinalists were Cooper Liberty. These are the people that beat us. Cooper Liberty, first place. Friendship was second place. Seminole was third, and Shallow-Water was 4th. With 2 of those going on and playing for the regional semifinals, and that was Seminole and Liberty. 6 players have over 20 matches won. And our girls have improved from the first half of the season. They were at about 23% win column. They went to 51% win column in the second half. So, what Hammonds does is he just builds champions, and it'll be that way the next semester. So they didn't continue on to state, but they played again 4A and still competed well. The district meeting is on Monday, next Monday. Coming Monday, I guess, for awards for players since now everybody's out. Cross country, Kate Hess will be going to state again. Okay, she did place 12th today. Try to explain this as fast as I can. So like, if they take out the team, so they name them all through, and then they take out the ones that are going to compete as a team. So Holiday had number 1, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. So they won team, so they'll take those 4 out, and of course they'll move four kids up, and that may be more than that, but you almost have to be in the top 20 to make it to state. So great year for the girls cross country team. They placed 6th overall as a team for Region 1, and that's, Mr. Smith may be able to tell me, but it's at least 100 schools, if not more, in Region 1. So that's 6th place team. That's pretty stinking good. The boys had a good year. Canyon did place 23rd or 26th. Depends on who you talk to. I counted 26, but somebody told me it's 23. So and just missed punching his ticket to state. So we'll see what occurs with that. He's not completely out. Like I said, usually top 20, you kind of secure yourself one. I don't know if it'll go to 23, but if he got 23. So That happened today, that's why I don't have updated information yet. They won't put those results till well later when everybody has their cross-country meet. Drug testing, last thing, drug testing went well. We did about 180 kids and we had 2 positives. That's about 1.1%. We also had our first counseling class this past Saturday on the 18th, and those students were there to get that counseling, and so they fulfilled all the needed repercussions for that. So we'll test here in the next,
Can't tell.
It's a secret. Any questions for me, guys? Great stuff going on.
District starts Friday for football?
Yes, Friday. It's against Denver City. I believe we're there. And then we can play Lamesa here and Kermit, the other way around. Kermit. Yeah, so, any questions? We appreciate it. It's been really good times. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right, I'll just keep rolling. Really, we met for training, so y'all got a lot of information from me, but a big thing I want to share is on Wednesday, we'll be doing an evacuation and reunification drill on every campus. Please remind everybody, you might see law enforcement, but it's just a drill. So we'll be doing that all day long. We'll post that on social media, and then we'll do a call out to let everybody know about that also. Enrollment, we're sitting at 1589 right now with Snapshot coming up. And right now, we're sitting at about 444 at high school, which is our Snapshot number, which is safely 3A. We're gonna be 3A. So, but actually, depending on what happens, we could end up 3A small school, which could be interesting, because Denver City's bigger than us right now, so Lamesa, you don't know how it's gonna fall. That's the, we might be in a completely, totally different district, so.
Perryton like go down?
Monthly financials, Mr. Keeler?
Thank you, Mr. Smith, Mr. Cooper. You have before you is the financials as of September 30th, 2025. We are through our first quarter of the fiscal year. Hard to believe, but we are. You see that we're kind of getting into, in September, you'll see a lot of initial, or I say larger payments in there for those annualized contracts that you'll see throughout the district, technology contracts, insurance, the different ones that we see through there with our service centers. A lot of those are paid, for the year from that standpoint. But for the most part, everything is kind of starting, and we'll get into our routine and customary, I would call, for the next 8 or 9 months. You'll notice the one is increasing there as we wind up with BEC and the new admin. You'll notice there in function 81, those expenditures are increasing, which we expect those to do that in the next couple months to 3 months as we close out those contracts once the project is complete from that standpoint. So you'll see there, again, just over 3.1 million in expenditures versus 3.5 in revenue. And down below there is the breakdown in your object totals that separates it out from payroll to contracted services to supplies and so forth from that standpoint. Just one thing of note, we did, based on our payment schedule for the district here, we did get I'm gonna say extra, but a little bump in our monthly payments for our foundation school program monies. So we got, extra money this month, and then it pretty much will level out from here throughout the remainder of the year from that standpoint. And also part of this was just over 630-something thousand as a settle up payment for the 24-25 school year. Basically what that means is we're budgeting very conservative from that standpoint and building our budget on that based on our ADA. So our budget was built here, we actually had ADA higher than that, which is a good thing. I'd rather them owe us money than we owe them money. And so that settle up was for 24, 25 from that standpoint. Any comments or questions about the financials there as of September 30th? If not, we'll go into the investment report that you have for the same reporting period there of September 2025. You'll see obviously the above there for the accounts at Prosperity Bank. And then again, down below is our investment accounts. We, again, still tend to hold, the rates are holding pretty steady. From 4.35 to, we're up to right at 4.4. And so, which is a good thing from that standpoint. So, again, just from my philosophy and keeping in there, what you'll see is going to be lower balances per se at the bank, and to where we can keep that money invested as long as we can prior to us paying the bills and or having payroll from that standpoint. So, right now we are getting kicked off what I consider is kind of getting into somewhat of a routine, customary, processes and stuff there for the next, in the budget, for the next 8 to 9 months from that standpoint. So, any comments or questions on either document?
I do have one more thing to add, that we just got notified last week that SHARS is, we received notification from SHARS that they overpaid us in 2022. And so we're gonna have to pay them $119,000 immediately. Nobody did anything wrong, in BISD, nobody did anything wrong. They paid us at a higher rate than they were supposed to in 2022. And so they were audited, they found that, and just about every district that takes SHARS money or participates in the SHARS program will be paying back immediately too, immediately. So I wanted to say that we'll be paying back $119,000 immediately, but it wasn't anything that we did, they just overpaid us.
Sure sounds like a disease.
Banker and not
Yeah,
And they're current at 2022.
yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Keeler
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Smith.
I have bad news.
At this time, we'll move on into the consent agenda consisting of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Captain Gonzalez and seconded by Tim Swearingen to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Consider approval of district improvement plan and goals and performance objectives for 2024-2025. Ms. Vera.
The 25-26 performance goals, objectives, and strategies are in the district improvement plan. Do y'all have any questions?
Our committees met, all that good stuff.
Yes, the committee met, approved the plan.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the district improvement plans and goals and performance objectives as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Captain Gonzalez and seconded by Tim Swearingen to approve the district improvement plan, goals, and performance objectives as presented. Is there any discussion on the motion itself? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Okay, at this time, we are going to go into closed session. Let's grab food.
Yeah, we can grab food.
I mean, I didn't know what.
Yeah, we can go grab food real quick.
Right. coming back into open session at 8:01. Consider superintendent's recommendation to propose termination of probationary contract of classroom teacher.
Mr. President,
Tim?
I move to accept the superintendent's recommendation and to propose termination of Stephanie Moore's probationary contract, and further move that the record of this action reflect the following. Before voting on this motion, the board considered a draft of the letter to Ms. Moore proposing the termination of employment. The superintendent reviewed with the board the reason or reasons for making his recommendation regarding the employee, and the board considered the reason or reasons and any other information provided by the superintendent, and that by passage of this motion, the board directs the superintendent to prepare for the board president's signature a final notice of proposed contract termination for Stephanie Moore, and ensure that the notice is delivered by no later than October 27, 2025. Directs that the notice of proposed contract termination include the time limitations and procedure for requesting a hearing before an independent hearing examiner. Directs the superintendent to notify Jennifer Powell at Eichelbaum Wardle of this action and requests that office contact and retain an attorney on behalf of the board to advise the board concerning legal matters upon receipt of a recommendation from an independent hearing examiner. Authorizes Jennifer Powell to consult with the superintendent to approve the final notice of proposed contract termination and to take whatever actions are necessary and proper to present the case in support of the proposed termination, and directs that a copy of this motion be attached to the minutes of this meeting and the final notice of proposed termination of employment sent to Ms. Moore. I further move that it is in the judgment of the board that regardless of the results of the above proposal for termination, it is in the best interest of the district that Stephanie Moore's probationary contract be terminated, effective at the end of the 2025-2026 school year, pursuant to Texas Education Code, State 21.103.
Second.
It's been moved by Tim Swearingen and seconded by Cat Gonzalez to propose termination. Is there any discussion on the motion itself? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Consider approval of a resolution of the Brownfield Independent School District adopting a trustee election plan establishing findings of fact and providing an effective date.
Yes, sir. This is the resolution that the board would adopt in order to formally start our re-election process that go into an all-at-large model. And this is the resolution that we would have to adopt in order for that to happen.
Mr. President,
Cat?
I make a motion that the Board of Trustees adopt the resolution of the Brownfield Independent School District adopting a trustee election plan, establishing the findings and facts, and providing an effective date.
It's been moved by Cat Gonzalez and seconded by Kerry Barnett to consider the Board of Trustees adopting the resolution of the Brownfield Independent School District adopting a trustee election plan, establishing findings of fact and providing an effective date. Is there any discussion on the motion itself? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. That was it, okay. Anything else you want to add before we adjourn?
No, sir. No, I just will be in contact, once we hear back from Casey. Caleb, do you know if we've heard back from Casey yet on when she can come present? So we're still waiting on Casey to let us know when she can come and do our audit. It'll have to be before the 15th though.
Well, I was gonna say, remind me what you told me this last week.
So the financial audit was waiting on the TDA audit to be completed. The TDA audit was complete, because Casey was supposed to come to this board meeting. but she could not close it out because she was waiting on that one. And by the time we got the information from TDA, the window was already closed for us to add anything to the agenda. So she's gonna have to come and do our presentation, and by law, it must be done before November 15th. So it could be a Tuesday, it could be a Wednesday, it could be whatever date she has, because she has other clients that she has to get their audits done before the same date. So I told her we don't really have a choice, honestly.
Will it mess y'all up, if we had our regular board meeting whenever?
No, that's my plan. That would be my plan, to get it all done at one time.
At one time, okay.
Yeah. 'Cause especially because it'll be the week of Thanksgiving, like, you know, it's Thanksgiving after that, so. So my goal would be to get everything done at the one meeting. And I just don't know when that's gonna be, but I know it'll be before the 15th.
Well, you still have a week after, well, no, yeah, never mind, you're right, I got you. I'm catching up, slowly but sure.
Basically have 3 weeks.
Right,
Yes, sir.
well, it's gotta be done before the 15th after that too.
Well, no, because you got
This
two
week.
full weeks. You got two full weeks in November.
Right.
still.
I will not be here that,
So there's
we'll
3
limit
weeks.
through that.
So we got 2 weeks in November.
Okay.
He has to
As
stay.
long as we have a quorum, I mean.
Well,
we'll
if
be
you
all right.
can't, yeah, it's last week of October, yeah, I got
I
you.
guess, that's
Okay.
what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We'll wait until the last minute.
Okay, Ms. Barnett's gonna be out of town from the 11th to the 15th, so we'll just have to make sure we get it. Yeah,
No.
she hasn't said anything, okay.
Okay. All right, anything else?
That's it.
Anybody else have anything else? If not, I declare this meeting adjourned.
Thank you, guys. And here's the resolution. for y'all to recap.
I'll let you know where.